Hi, Mr. C here. Today what we're going to be discussing is rail and stile bits for making doors for your cabinet. Now remember, we're making that 36 by 16 by 12 upper cabinet. And right now what I have in here is I have a router table and I have my router, and right now I have a keyhole bit in the router with a 1/4 inch collet. Well, sometimes you may have to change out the router bit excuse me, in order to go ahead and complete your next task. So I want to show you properly. You want to take your router wrenches, and then if you noticed how I have my router wrenches like this, I want to open up my hand, open this up so that way I don't hurt myself. Now I loosen up the collet and I pull out this router bit, okay? Now, these router bits are the rail and stile bits. These are what makes your doors, okay? So they interlock into one another. So the first router bit that I need to use in the process of making my doors is I need to use this bit right here, which has just the slot cutter in it. I also need to change out and have a 1/2 inch shank collet. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove this collet and this bit, and I'm just going to set them over here. They're not going to fall on the floor. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 1/2 inch collet, place this in the router, then I'm going to go ahead and slide my router bit into where it touches, then pull it up just a little bit, so that way it's not making a hammer effect onto the motor itself. And I want to go ahead and tighten this up. Now, you want to make it tight, but you don't want to have to give it the death grip, okay? Because you do have to take the bit out. Okay? So, now I've removed those pieces over here. I'm just going to go ahead and set this pieces over here. Now, we need to go ahead and put the router into the router table. I'm going to bring it over here so that way you have a better sight. Okay. Now, I have my rail and stile bit pieces. I have my rails marked with an R on them. My stiles marked with an S on them. The first bit that we use, we are going to have all of the pieces run through it, okay? So what I have to do, I'm going to back you up a little bit now. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get the router. You know what, I don't like the way this is sticking up. Let me just double check something. Okay, that isn't all the way. I just don't like how long the shank was, but I know you don't see me right now. I'm just retightening the router bit inside the collet. Okay. So now what I have to do is I have to go ahead and set the router bit and base, the router itself, into the router table. Okay, this apparatus right here is the router table. I'm going to go ahead and put this into the base. And as I rotate this, the bit, as you can see, is coming up and into the top here, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and may as well just put my safety glasses on now, so that way they're on. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to set the height of this properly. What I want to have is, because my material is 3/4 of an inch thick. Well, I want the groove to be exactly in the center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set the bit, or with the groove cutting bit of the rail and stile bits, is I'm going to go ahead and set that right in the center. So 1/4 inch up, so the slot cutter goes from 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, and then the last 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch is free. Let's see here. That looks really good. Okay. So I have all my material setting right here. Now, I don't have it plugged in yet. I have a straight edge along here, and what we want is from the fence to go right on one plane past the bearings, all on the same plane. So what you can do is take a ruler or a straight edge and place this on here, and you can see, or I can show you, this is not on completely. You can see this teeter-totters. That's not good. So what we want to do is we have these 4 bolts that have Allen screws or wing nuts on the bottom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this to where the fence is riding right along that edge. So now, see how this is right on the same plane now? This is what we want to have happen. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and tighten up the wing nuts underneath, and I basically just hold at the top of the bolt and then on each one as I'm tightening the wing nut, and that will be enough to where this will not move at all. Okay, so now I have this set up. Typically I have an arrow showing that you want to run this way only. I have my pieces all set right here, and it's going to go in, push them through and stack them on the other side. But I want to have a push stick. It's placed right here. I have all my straight grain. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the router. I'll hold on to my material so that it doesn't move. I noticed that when I turned it on, the torque from the motor going from 0 to 21,000 RPM moved it just slightly. So what I want to do is I need to tighten it up a little bit more and adjust it. So I'm going to unplug it. Take my piece, put it back there. Remember, it's unplugged right now. Yes, this moved just a little bit. Okay. Back to in business, right where we want to be. Okay. So you want this to the downstroke side. The groove in here, so we can go ahead and place this one down, and then we can just run all of them. wait right here until it stops. But now that I've run all of the grooves in these, okay, what I want to do is I need to set up the bit for the other cut on the end grain. So that's the other bit that's in that canister. So until next time, I'm Mr. C in the shop, and we'll see part 2 of the Rail and Stile bits on how to make a door. Okay? Till then, see ya. Bye-bye.